Your left eyelid keeps twitching for no reason. You wake up at 2 a.m. with a calf cramp so sharp you have to limp it off. You've had 3 cups of coffee before noon just to function, and somehow you're still exhausted by 3 p.m. Doctors call this nothing serious. Blood work comes back normal. But there is a reason, and it's hiding in plain sight in a mineral almost nobody gets tested for. Because standard blood work barely measures it at all. It hides inside your bones and your cells long before it ever shows up in a blood sample. Which is exactly why so many people walk around deficient for years without a single doctor ever catching it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to hand you 12 snacks, ordinary, kitchen cupboard snacks, that flood your body with that exact mineral and start correcting the twitching, the cramping, the wired but tired feeling, often within days, not months. No pills, no for drips, no $40 supplement bottle collecting dust in your cabinet. Just food. Number 3 on this list is a 2-ingredient combination that soldiers and traders carried across deserts because it kept them alive when nothing else would. Number 9 is a snack most people throw in the trash without realizing it's one of the densest sources of this mineral on the entire planet. And number 12 is the one I personally keep stocked at all times, because once you understand why it works, you'll wonder why nobody told you sooner. Stay with me all the way to the end, because I'm also going to give you the exact framework I used to build an entire week of these snacks in under 20 minutes. And by the time this video is over, you will never look at your pantry the same way again. That mineral is magnesium, and it is not a minor player. It's a required cofactor in more than 300 enzymatic reactions inside your body. Everything from the rhythm of your heartbeat to the way your muscles let go after they contract to the way your brain produces the calming chemicals that let you fall asleep at night. Low magnesium has been linked in research to everything from persistent muscle tension and restless sleep to that specific brand of anxious, wired energy that makes it hard to sit still even when you're bone tired. And yet it's one of the most underconsumed minerals in the modern diet, largely because the foods that used to concentrate it have quietly disappeared from the average plate, replaced by processed alternatives that strip it out almost entirely somewhere between the farm and the factory. The adult recommended daily intake sits somewhere between 310 and 420 milligrams depending on age and sex, and most people, without ever realizing it, are falling well short of that number every single day. Before we get into the list, hit that subscribe button, because we release a new video like this every single week, breaking down the science behind the foods your body was actually built to run on, and I don't want you to miss the next one. Now let's get into it. Here are 12 magnesium-rich snacks that will heal you instantly, ranked from remarkable to absolutely essential. 1. Sea-salted roasted pumpkin seeds, the single richest common snack source there is. If you remember only one food from this entire video, make it this one. Pumpkin seeds, also known as pepitas, are the standout magnesium source among everyday snack foods, delivering roughly 156 milligrams of magnesium per ounce, which is a meaningful chunk of your entire daily requirement in a single small handful. Traditional cultures across Mesoamerica didn't just eat pumpkin seeds. They ground them into pastes used to calm the body after illness and support digestion, treating them as medicine long before anyone understood why. The mechanism is straightforward. Magnesium functions as a cofactor in the enzymes responsible for muscle relaxation, nerve signaling, and the production of ADP, the actual energy currency your cells run on. When magnesium runs low, muscles cramp more easily, nerves misfire, and the body struggles to generate steady energy, which is part of why fatigue and magnesium deficiency show up together so often in clinical research. A study on magnesium-rich seed consumption found measurable improvements in markers of muscle relaxation and reported sleep quality among participants who added a daily seed serving to their diet, which is a striking result for something as simple as a handful of seeds. To prepare this snack, roast raw pumpkin seeds at 300 degrees for about 20 minutes with a drizzle of olive oil and a pinch of sea salt, stirring occasionally until golden. Keep a jar on your counter instead of tucked away in a cabinet, because the snacks you can see are the ones you actually reach for. And this is the single cheapest, easiest habit on this entire list. 1 ounce alone can cover roughly a third to half of your entire daily magnesium requirement in one sitting. 2. Dark chocolate-covered almonds, the trade route treasure. Almonds traveled the ancient trade routes out of the Mediterranean and Central Asia for centuries, prized as a portable, shelf-stable source of sustained energy for travelers who had no idea what magnesium even was. Cacao made a similar journey out of Mesoamerica once trade routes opened between continents. And when the two eventually met, something more than flavor was at work. Almonds are dense in magnesium, and the fat and fiber they contain slow the absorption of the natural sugars in dark chocolate, preventing the blood sugar spike that chocolate alone tends to cause. Magnesium itself plays a documented role in insulin sensitivity, meaning this pairing genuinely supports steadier blood sugar rather than a sugar-only treat pretending to be healthy. To make it, coat raw or dry roasted almonds in melted, high cocoa dark chocolate and chill until set. Keep a small jar at your desk for the 3 p.m. slump, because this works on a biochemical level, not just a psychological one. Portion them into small bags in advance rather than keeping the whole batch within arm's reach, since the entire point is a steady mineral top-up, not a single oversized serving that cancels out the slow-release benefit the almonds were providing. Research on nut consumption and metabolic health consistently associates regular almond intake with improved markers of insulin function and reduced inflammation, which means this is a snack quietly working on your metabolism long after the taste is gone. 3. Tahini stuffed dates, the desert traveler's fuel. This is the pairing I promised you at the start. Dates sustain desert-dwelling populations across the Middle East and North Africa for thousands of years, prized for dense natural sugars, fiber, and mineral content that survived long journeys without refrigeration. Tahini, the paste ground from sesame seeds, is one of the more concentrated plant-based magnesium sources that exists. Those sesame seeds are so small, most people never eat enough of them on their own to notice. Blending them into a paste makes that magnesium far easier to actually consume. When a date's own magnesium and potassium content meets the concentrated magnesium in tahini, and the fiber in both ingredients slows the absorption of the date's natural sugar, you get sustained energy rather than a spike and a crash. Exactly what desert trading cultures needed and intuitively relied on long before anyone had a word for blood sugar regulation. Traditional use of tahini across the region where it originated often paired it with fruit specifically as an everyday snack, not an occasional indulgence, reflecting an intuitive understanding of its density that predates modern nutrition science by thousands of years. To make this snack, slice a pitted date lengthwise, spread a small spoonful of tahini inside, and finish with a pinch of sea salt if you like. It takes seconds to prepare and carries thousands of years of practical wisdom behind it. Medjool dates work especially well here because their size and soft texture make room for a generous filling, but any variety works if you adjust the amount of tahini to match. Research on date consumption specifically highlights their potassium and magnesium content as relevant contributors to healthy blood pressure regulation and normal muscle function, both of which align directly with everything else we're covering today. 4. Chia seed pudding, the gel that feeds your nervous system. Chia seeds were a staple of Aztec and Mayan diets, so valued that the word chia is believed to come from the Mayan word for strength. Warriors and runners reportedly carried them as portable fuel, understanding empirically that a small amount sustained them for long stretches. Chia seeds are dense in magnesium alongside omega-3 fatty acids and a soluble fiber that forms a gel when soaked, and that gel slows digestion, releasing magnesium gradually rather than all at once. Magnesium is required for the proper function of the NMDA receptors in the brain, which, when overactive, contribute to the wired, anxious feelings so many people associate with chronic stress. To make it, combine chia seeds with milk of your choice in roughly a 1:4 ratio, stir thoroughly, and refrigerate overnight. In the morning, top with berries or sliced banana. It requires no cooking, keeps for days, and delivers a slow, steady magnesium release that mirrors how it was actually used as sustained fuel rather than a quick fix. Making 3 or 4 jars at once turns this from an occasional treat into a genuine daily habit, one you can grab straight from the fridge on the mornings you're moving too fast to think about breakfast at all. 5. Avocado whole grain toast, the fat that unlocks mineral absorption. Avocados are best known for healthy fat, but they also provide a meaningful magnesium contribution. And just as importantly, the fat they contain improves the absorption of magnesium and other minerals from anything eaten alongside them, a detail most nutrition conversations skip entirely. Whole grain bread contributes its own magnesium. Since the mineral is concentrated in the bran and germ of the grain, the very parts stripped away in refined white bread. Topping mashed avocado with a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds layers 3 separate magnesium sources into a single dish, while the avocado's fat helps your body actually absorb what it's being given. To prepare it, mash half an avocado onto a slice of dense whole grain or sourdough bread. Season with salt, pepper, and a squeeze of lemon, and finish with a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds. If you can find true sourdough made through slow fermentation, research shows the fermentation process further improves mineral bioavailability by breaking down the phytic acid that would otherwise bind minerals in the grain. It's a small detail on a label, but it's the difference between bread that merely contains magnesium and bread that actually lets your body use it. 6. Edamame with sea salt, the whole soybean advantage. Edamame, young soybeans steamed in the pod, has been a staple snack across East Asia for generations, valued long before anyone understood the specific mineral content behind its reputation as a restorative food. Unlike many processed soy products, it arrives whole and minimally processed, preserving far more of its natural mineral and fiber content, without the additives and refining steps that strip so many soy-based snack foods of their original nutrient density. Protein synthesis, the process your body uses to repair and build tissue, requires magnesium as a cofactor, which is exactly why a snack pairing protein and magnesium, like edamame, supports mineral replenishment and muscle repair at the same time, and why it's traditionally been a popular post-exercise food in the cultures that eat it regularly. To prepare it, steam edamame pods for 5 to 6 minutes, toss with flaky sea salt while still warm, and eat directly from the pod. If you've been reaching for protein bars or shakes after activity, this whole food alternative delivers a comparable protein contribution without the added sugars and artificial sweeteners most packaged recovery products rely on to make up for what they lack nutritionally. If you're starting to notice the pattern here, that magnesium touches your muscles, your nerves, your energy production, and your sleep all at once, do me a favor and tap that like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach more people who are quietly dealing with fatigue and stress and looking for real, science-backed answers instead of another vague wellness trend. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is the moment. Click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next week, because we're only halfway through and the remaining snacks on this list include a few that most people have never once connected to mineral health in their entire lives. Now, let's keep going, because the second half of this list is where it gets even more interesting. 7. Black bean and avocado dip, the plant-based mineral duo. Legumes have quietly been one of the most overlooked magnesium sources in modern nutrition conversations, and black beans are among the better contributors in that category. Combined with avocado, which brings its own magnesium along with absorption-enhancing fat, this becomes a genuinely functional snack rather than just a flavorful one. Traditional Central and South American diets built around beans, corn, and avocado sustained entire populations for centuries, and modern analysis of those traditional patterns consistently shows superior mineral intake compared to more processed modern diets that swapped whole legumes for refined convenience food. The fiber in black beans also feeds beneficial gut bacteria, and a healthier gut plays an underappreciated role in how efficiently magnesium is absorbed in the first place. To make it, blend black beans with avocado, a squeeze of lime, cumin, and a pinch of salt until smooth, and serve with whole grain crackers or vegetable sticks. Batch make a large bowl at the start of the week, since it keeps well for 4 to 5 days and only improves in flavor as the lime and spices settle in overnight. It's the kind of snack that quietly does double duty, satisfying and genuinely contributing to your daily magnesium total at the same time. 8. Roasted chickpeas with pumpkin seeds, the crunchy legume upgrade. Chickpeas have sustained Mediterranean and Middle Eastern populations for millennia, carrying a meaningful magnesium contribution alongside fiber and plant-based protein. Research on regular legume consumption consistently associates it with improved markers of cardiovascular health and reduced inflammation, benefits that compound over months of regular eating rather than showing up after a single serving. Roasting them until crisp transforms them into a satisfying crunchy snack that fills the same craving as chips or crackers while delivering an entirely different nutritional profile. Combining roasted chickpeas with pumpkin seeds layers two legitimate magnesium sources into one bowl, and the combined fiber supports the slow, steady digestion that helps your body actually utilize magnesium rather than rushing it through the system. Chronic inflammation is known to increase the body's magnesium requirements while simultaneously making it harder to retain, which is exactly why the anti-inflammatory benefits linked to regular legume intake matter here. To prepare it, toss cooked and dried chickpeas with olive oil and your preferred seasoning. Roast at 400 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes until crisp, and combine with roasted pepitas once cooled. This combination works especially well as a chip replacement at exactly the moment a salty craving tends to strike hardest, without the sluggish, bloated feeling a bag of fried potato chips often leaves behind. Store it in an airtight container, and it holds its crunch for days, which makes it one of the easiest swaps on this entire list to make permanent. 9. Whole grain crackers with hummus, the food most of us were told to avoid, reconsidered. This is the snack I mentioned at the start of the video, the one most people accidentally overlook and sometimes throw away entirely once they get swept up in whatever the latest low-carb trend happens to be. Whole grains have spent the last few decades caught in the crossfire of shifting dietary trends, but whole grain crackers made from unrefined flour retain the bran and germ layers of the grain, exactly where the plant's magnesium content is concentrated. Refining flour strips those layers away along with the majority of the grain's mineral content, which is a significant part of why population studies consistently find lower average magnesium intake in diets built around refined grain products. Pairing whole grain crackers with chickpea-based hummus, itself a magnesium contributor, creates a convenient, shelf-stable combination that delivers a meaningful magnesium total using things most people already have in their kitchen. To prepare it, choose crackers made from whole wheat, whole rye, or ancient grains rather than refined white flour, and pair generously with hummus. Reading the ingredient label matters more here than with almost anything else on this list, since many products marketed as multigrain still start with refined flour as the primary ingredient, quietly stripping out the very mineral you're trying to restore. Traditional stone-ground flour, used across ancient Mediterranean and Middle Eastern bread making, preserved this mineral density as a matter of necessity, long before industrial milling made refined white flour the modern default sitting on grocery shelves. 10. Spinach and egg muffins, the leafy green concentrate. Leafy greens, spinach in particular, have long been recognized as a magnesium-dense food, since magnesium sits at the literal center of the chlorophyll molecule that gives plants their green color. Every leafy green vegetable is, quite literally, built around a magnesium atom. Traditional agrarian diets built around seasonal greens delivered a steady magnesium intake that modern diets, increasingly built around processed and refined foods, often fail to replicate. Pairing spinach with eggs adds a complete protein source and a small additional magnesium contribution, while the fat in the egg yolk supports absorption of the fat-soluble nutrients found in the greens. Research on chlorophyll-rich vegetable intake consistently links higher consumption with better markers of inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which place additional demand on your body's magnesium reserves when elevated. To make these muffins, whisk eggs with chopped spinach, a pinch of salt, and any additional vegetables you like. Pour into a greased muffin tin, and bake at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes until set. They store well in the refrigerator for up to 5 days, making them a portable, savory, protein and magnesium-rich option you can prepare once and eat all week, instead of reaching for a nutrient-poor pastry on a rushed weekday morning. Batch preparing a dozen at once on a Sunday afternoon means you always have something mineral-dense within reach, exactly when you need it most. 11. Oatmeal with almond butter, the slow-release bedtime combination. Oats provide a steady, complex carbohydrate magnesium contribution, and swirling in almond butter adds a second concentrated source alongside healthy fat that slows digestion even further. A small addition of chia seeds on top layers in a third magnesium source and additional fiber. The mechanism worth highlighting here is magnesium's role in supporting restful sleep when eaten as an evening snack, since it contributes to the regulation of melatonin production and supports the parasympathetic nervous system activity associated with actually winding down at the end of the day. Traditional evening porridge rituals appear across many food cultures, specifically at bedtime, long before anyone connected that habit to mineral content and sleep biology. To prepare it, make a small bowl of oatmeal using your preferred method. Swirl in a spoonful of almond butter while still warm, and top with a sprinkle of chia seeds. Eaten an hour or two before bed. It's a genuinely functional addition to a wind-down routine, and it costs a fraction of what a sleep supplement typically runs, using ingredients most people already keep stocked in the pantry. If you've been lying awake replaying your day at midnight, this is one of the simplest, cheapest experiments you can run on yourself this week. 12. Magnesium Power Trail Mix. Every source combined. And here we are, the snack I saved for last because it represents the most complete possible combination of everything we've discussed. This trail mix brings together pumpkin seeds, almonds, cashews, peanuts, cacao nibs, and a modest amount of dried fruit, layering nearly every major magnesium source covered in this video into a single portable mix. Nomadic herders, mountain travelers, desert traders, and seafaring communities across nearly every culture that has ever needed portable, shelf-stable nutrition independently arrived at some version of a nut and dried fruit combination, long before anyone could explain exactly why it worked. Modern nutritional analysis confirms what those traditions discovered empirically, combining multiple whole food magnesium sources with healthy fat, fiber, and a modest amount of natural sugar produces sustained energy and satisfies hunger far more effectively than any single processed snack food can, without the crash that follows a bag of candy or a bar loaded with syrup and filler ingredients. To make it, combine equal parts pumpkin seeds, almonds, cashews, and peanuts, add a modest handful of cacao nibs and a small portion of dried fruit, and portion the mix into small containers for the week ahead. Store it away from direct sunlight and heat, since the fats in the nuts and cacao nibs can turn rancid faster than most people expect, and a fresh batch every couple of weeks ensures you're getting the full mineral and flavor benefit every single time you reach for a handful. If you only build one new habit from this entire video, make it this one, because it's built to cover every angle at once: muscles, nerves, energy, and sleep, all from the same bag. If you made it all the way here, you now have a complete, science-backed blueprint for restoring your magnesium levels from every direction. Let me leave you with the framework. Reach for concentrated whole food sources first: pumpkin seeds, almonds, cashews, and dark chocolate. Layer in the muscle and nerve support of chia seeds, spinach, and edamame. Use fat-rich foods like avocado and tahini to help your body actually absorb what you're feeding it. Round it out with the fiber and slow-digesting carbohydrates in oats, chickpeas, and whole grains to keep your energy steady rather than spiking and crashing. This isn't a supplement protocol, it's a food strategy, and it's available to anyone at any age starting today, whether you're dealing with the occasional cramp or you've spent years quietly wondering why rest never seems to fully restore you. Smash that like button if this video changed the way you think about the snacks sitting in your kitchen right now, and drop a comment telling me which one you're trying first. Are you team pumpkin seeds, team dark chocolate, or team trail mix? I read every single comment, and I genuinely love hearing from you. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, this is your sign. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss a video, because next week we're going even deeper into the everyday deficiencies nobody talks about and the simple foods that fix them. We're building a community that takes nutrition seriously, evidence-based, practical, and deeply connected to how the body actually works. Because sometimes the fastest path back to feeling like yourself again isn't a prescription, it's a handful of the right snack. Start small if this feels like a lot. Pick 2 or 3 from this list that sound the most appealing to you right now. Keep them stocked and visible in your kitchen this week, and let the habit build naturally from there rather than trying to overhaul everything overnight. And now you know exactly which ones to reach for, and exactly why they work, the next time your body tells you something is missing.